5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. On air.
Well, Agitprop this week looks at something which has happened to thousands of people who didn't deserve it in the first place, having their electricity cut off because they couldn't pay the outrageous bills that came their way. With me tonight is Mrs. Webb, who works for the Electricity Council and probably has never been cut off in her life, have you?
No, I haven't.
No.
But I've always paid my bills, you see.
Yes, but you're lucky to have had the money, aren't you, really?
Well, I think when you say about people being disconnected, unfortunately, we're very good. We let people use electricity in advance before we charge for it.
You have to, because you don't know how much they're going to have.
Well, fortunately, there are various ways of paying, and although there's not very much we can do at this moment for those that have been cut off, we can, in fact, help those that may be having problems paying their bills in a simple way of making sure they have the money when the time comes.
Yes, but you know and I know that dozens and dozens of people run into real difficulties, and for one reason or another, either the failure of the board's bureaucracy or whatever it is, they get cut off and they're left there often with old people or children in the house, no heat, no light, and making do with candles. When we look at the enormous profits the electricity boards are making, it's a disgrace.
Well, if somebody really is having difficulties and they receive a bill which they can't pay, if they go immediately to the electricity board, you'll find that they are very sympathetic and do not just cut off for the sake of cutting off. Also, we do send a reminder so that if somebody has had an account and forgotten, put it aside and forgotten to pay it, or indeed haven't had time to go along to the electricity board, this reminds them that the bill is outstanding, so they still have another opportunity to pop into the board and just explain what's happened. We're also very happy to take sums of money each week rather than say, right, we've got to have the whole lot now. And again, with discussion with the local board, they'll accept a certain sum each week until it's paid off.
But I have got files of literally hundreds of people where, all right, the reminders have gone out, they sometimes have been to the board and they've been told that the local branch can't make an arrangement. And the next thing they know is that without any more warning, some guys come along and pull the plugs out on them, and there they are.
Yes, that is so, but they can get it connected again as soon as they pay their bill, of course.
Yes, but if the bill's for £200 or £300, what do they expect
Well,
them
it
to
is
do?
difficult, I do agree, but unfortunately this is one area where we've got millions of customers, as you well know. Everybody uses electricity, and as much as we would like to give individual attention, we can't. We have to rely on the people coming to us.
Don't you have any sense of conscience about some old girl who's perhaps been laid up with lumbago or pneumonia, can't even find anyone to go down to the board for her? The man doesn't ring the bell, he just pulls the plugs out.
Well, usually if somebody is infirm or elderly like that, they are in contact very often with the social security officers and the social services, and they liaise on their behalf, so there's no reason why an old or infirm person should be left without supply.
And can you tell me, what is the actual regulation? Should the man who comes along to cut you off take the money if you offer it, or is he, as we have been told, they say sometimes, not permitted to take the money? He pulls the plugs out and expects you to go to the board.
Regrettably, the money has to be paid into the board. But could I just add something here, because we are talking about people having been disconnected, and there may be people viewing that are concerned about their future bills, and there are several ways that they can pay for their electricity now without them running into this sort of difficulty. They can either have a slot meter installed if it's in a safe place, they can pop into the electricity board and pay as much as they like when they like, or they can have a regular amount paid each month either through the bank, or they can buy saving stamps from
The sort of
post
people
offices.
I'm talking about don't have two halfpennies to rub together. Talking about banks and saving stamps, they're lucky to get enough to eat. But coming back to this business of the meter, it's a fact, isn't it, that even if the money's in the meter, if it gets pinched, the people whose meter it is are still liable.
Yes, that is so,
Yes,
and we,
rather.
although again we're very good here, I feel, because we won't install a meter unless it's in a safe place, and certainly would recommend that if anybody is concerned about a breaking in area, which sometimes does occur, then of course it would be advisable just for a few pence to take out an insurance.
Well, a few pence in insurance, that's the sort of attitude of people with money, isn't it? Well, we've got to leave it this week, but the union will be back next week telling you how the unmarried mother can get her rights down at the Social Security Office. Good night.
Oh, God.